You've seen me with these dark glasses. I've shot my pictures with this eye, and this other eye is now having trouble staying open. Didn't think I was trying to be a big shot. I think we should start this where it began. I used to go out on the street trying to emulate Henry Cartier-Bresson, and usually my timing was off by a few seconds. These files are just filled with stories. If you name a subject, I probably can come up with it. I once went going through a hospital where they were trying to steal needles. And sometimes working with groups like that is a good entree into being able to do emotional stories about people who need to be talked about. Yeah, we had a ceremony today.
What'd you win it for?
Photography.
And so this is your crew?
Yes.
I worked on probably 400 movies. There were 2 movie posters that were done on this very couch. Another was Ferris Bueller, right on this couch. Throughout my life, I've been very involved with civil rights and with justice, and it's something I care very, very much about. I asked my editor if I could do a photo essay on James Baldwin. We saw a back door which said, "Colored entrance only." I photographed the 3rd Selma March. I always feel that the things that are important in a photograph are emotion, design, and information. If you can get all 3 of those into your photograph, I think you're doing okay. I've always enjoyed being a fly on the wall and wait for that moment when there's something in someone's eyes and the way they look which gives you a hint as to who they are and what's very special about them.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Steve Schapiro, Being Everywhere. Playing in theaters right now as of this recording. I'm going to have it all set up. Links in the description below. Please go check it out. I'm KUYA. This is Nerds World the World. Joining me to talk all things Steve Schapiro, Being Everywhere is writer-director Maura Smith. How are you, Maura?
I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I have to tell you, I'm a fellow filmmaker, but I haven't done documentaries because I think it's such a responsibility. I have so many friends locally in this DC area that I'm in that, you know, that do documentary work, and I've helped, but it's just a responsibility to capture a real individual and make sure you're giving them, you know, their energy and everything in the best light. When this project came to you, and you've done amazing work yourself, why did you decide to take on Steve Schapiro, and how did this relationship come to be to make this film?
Okay, can I ask you one fast question and then I'll answer that?
Let's do it, Maura.
What's your favorite documentary that you've ever seen?
Oh, that's a great question. I just recently got done voting for the CCA Doc Awards. I'll say for this year, The Perfect Neighbor was a good one. It was a good true crime one that's coming in Netflix.
You know, that's the ones that everyone's talking about, a true crime. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you ever see King of Kong? About the guy who does the Guinness Book of.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
I did.
Yeah, it's good. It was a good one. That was probably my favorite. Okay. The reason I made this documentary, should I call you Patrick? Would you like me to call you Patrick?
That's fine. Yes.
What would you like? What would you prefer?
Patrick is fine. I go by KUYA for the hosting.
I saw that.
I do on the radio.
Okay, fine. Steve was my husband. So that is why I made this documentary. He got diagnosed with cancer June 21st, 2021. And I didn't have a plan about that at all, but I just knew I said, honey, I think I should get a film crew in and let me record some of your stories. And that's all that my whole goal was, just to make sure I got some of those stories on camera.
Wow.
We spent 2 days and just filmed them.
Yeah, I've been talking to some other documentarians of late, again, because I'm coming off of the Doc Awards. And so there's a lot of doc coverage I've been doing.
Yeah.
When we turn the camera on our relatives. It's always a difficult personal project, I'm sure. So to do so, and I'm sure it was easy for him to talk to you. You decided to do this. You decided to capture this amazing human being that was your husband, and rest in power. Thank you for showing us him and bringing to light how important he was. So just what is that conversation, I guess, to like, okay, let's do this. Steve, you're such an amazing guy. I want to do this. Or was this something you discussed together? Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a couple. I might lose your question, but let me give you a couple answers. One, I still teach at Columbia College film courses in Chicago. So I will tell my students the very first class, I will tell them, and a lot of them are freshmen or sophomores, I'll say, if you are going to be a film student, you have a moral obligation to make a movie about your grandmother or your great aunt. And you have a moral obligation to make a couple of movies about some nonprofits. It doesn't cost it costs you nothing. You can film it, you can edit it, just do it. Be a nice person and use this talent that you're getting and, give back. And that's the way you can give back.
I love that. I love that.
So I had to do what I said. But anyway, the reason doing this documentary was not necessarily planned that I was going to do it. I contacted a couple of people that were that are celebrities that I knew they don't know me, but I knew they had collected Steve's photos through Fahey Klein Gallery in LA. And Gary Oldman was the first to respond. Really wonderful, nice guy. He came here. He loved Steve. He didn't know Steve all that well, but he certainly knew Steve. But he collects a lot of Steve's work. And I thought maybe he'd want to do a documentary. And he came, thought, great. Yeah, I'm coming. He was going to bring a cameraman. The cameraman's plane got canceled. That person never got here. And just as life works, when Gary got here with his lovely wife, Giselle, Steve had his first decline. It was maybe 3 weeks after, maybe even 2 weeks after Steve got diagnosed. And he seemed to be healthy, but he had his first decline and had to go into the hospital. And I could, Gary kind of felt like a mercenary a little bit, like, I don't think this is the right time to be getting involved. So that didn't happen. So then, of course, Steve bounced back, but, we don't know anything about this disease. So Steve bounced back. And when he bounced back, I thought, hey, while Steve's doing okay, I think I'll just get a camera crew in and we'll tell these stories. And he was thrilled. Steve loved telling his stories. He loved it. He was at many talk shows. He had a lot of book signings. He would always, be thrilled, never get nervous. He just loved telling his stories. So I knew him and I thought, let's just tell these stories. So we got him. And that's about how far I got into it.
Amazing. Oh, I'm an empath, Maura. So like the energy in me is like, because he's your husband, and like I'm just feeling all the emotions now. And my outlets, Nerds Rule the World. It's all about, we're to put being a nerd is cool. It's up front and center that we can do anything. And I love finding out about amazing human beings like your husband that help bring to life the story of life and pop culture and everything. And I guess what I'm getting at is, again, I love that because I think documentaries are such a responsible and important work, is that through documentaries we're highlighting the people that we need to know more, that we don't get enough of from that in regular narrative work.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's such an amazing piece. And so thank you for this. Thank you for sharing your husband and putting this together. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. I so many thoughts.
I love it.
So we decided to do this. You talk to him. You get his story brought to life in this. Can you tell me about frameworking that? The through line to just capture different moments. What was important for you in taking his story and bringing it together in this piece to make sure you hit on some certain points? I guess because he's done so many things.
Okay, two things to that question. One, and again, if I lose track, you'll bring me back. Okay.
No worries.
So one was that I knew I was going to get to an emotional section, civil rights. I started off with James Baldwin, and I do civil rights, and then the MLK. I knew I was going to go there, and that would have been chronologically more in the front because that would have been, you know, in the 60s. So I just had to make a decision. I think I'll make this story emotional. So we'll start with the fun stuff. We'll start with kind of the history. Like I like to take cool pictures. I like to do photojournalism. I love to, you know, I did a lot of movie people. I did a lot of magazine covers. I did record albums, you know, fun. And then I knew I had to slow it down. And I thought if I did it chronological, we'd be kind of sad. And then we're going into like enjoying the movies. And so I just thought, so that was a little bit one issue. How do I tell this story and not interrupt it, you know, with the wrong mood? And then there was, oh, I know. On my computer, I you know, I teach editing, I teach film. So on my computer, right, this same computer, I put, just remember, show Steve's charm. You know, and the other point, Patrick, that I was really trying to make is you live your life, and I know you're going to know this. You live your life, you have influences, you have people you meet along the way that there is no way 42 years later or 17 years later or 63 years later that something said by somebody stayed with you. Just a passing comment and just get into you. And that was kind of what I was trying to set up with this film. You know, that Steve went and filmed those migrants. Those people had a real impression on him of, you know, just how life can be a struggle. Then he filmed the addicts, and he says, you know, you can't give up addiction unless you find something to sub it with, you know. And then he goes to James Baldwin, who had such a, you know, strong opinion about life and about faith and about belief. And then he talks about the civil rights movement and that picture of Jerome Smith. You know, you know may not know who he was, but it was the gentleman sitting praying, and then up in the corner is that Jesus picture. That's one of my favorite pictures. It just feels so solitary and meditative and thoughtful. You know, so I was just kind of trying to say, we just don't know where our lives are leading us. You know, just stay alert to those influences, and they might surprise you.
Completely agree. Well said. Thank you,
you.
Maura. This is something I ask with a lot of documentarians that I talk to, and I'm now curious because you're the wife of Steve Schapiro that we're talking about in this film. What did you learn along the way of making this film that you might have not known before? Did you find out something about your husband when you were talking to him and having him relate? I'm sure he's told you so many stories, obviously, but did you find out something that you maybe might have forgot or just was completely new to you?
I'd like to say yes. I don't think so. I mean, it'd be more fun, Patrick, if I could say yes. I would love it. But yeah, I'll certainly think about it. And if I think of something in the next 3 years, I'll get back to you. But off the top of my head, there really weren't any surprises. Yeah. No
worries. No worries. So, well, having them recant these tales and then you putting it all together. And again, you know, you chose how to shift things around, which I agree. And I, in your process of how the order should be in chronologically for the film for the right oomph, which we all know as filmmakers, right? Mm-hmm. Was there, I guess, something that, I lost my train of thought.
Good. You
didn't make it for time. I'm getting old too. That didn't make it for time because you had so many things that you're trying to put in there in such a way.
You know, there were stories. It's like there were pictures mainly. You know, Steve did, you wouldn't appreciate, but people my age would know that he did the Jane Fonda workout book, you know, and everybody my age bought that book. You know, there were things like that were more popular images. He did, what's his name? Chuck Norton, you know, shooting guns, you know, I can't remember what the film is, but, you know, he did that, you know, so he did some very famous images that were very popular and people would have known him. And I just thought, nah, I don't want to put those in, for different reasons, yeah. So it was the hardest section to cut in terms of photographs was the movie section and the celebrity section. I could have gone on and on and on. I have 800,000 negatives, and I have probably, no one's ever counted the slides. I would bet they're 2 million or more, so just to, you saw in the movie, the archives, there are a lot more pictures I could have used, but I just, after a while, I'll use.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. This is also why I don't do documentaries.
Yeah,
so much responsibility, so much editing of coverage that you just got to figure out. Here's a question I'd love to ask, especially about a person that we're focusing on in this. What do you think, knowing that he's your husband, but the subject of this piece, what do you think was the hardest lesson that he had to learn and that he would then tell somebody that, a student, or, so that they don't make the same? What do you think was the hardest lesson for that he had to take on for himself, and then that he imparted after learning that lesson?
I don't know if he had to learn it. I don't know if he had to learn it, but I know one thing that he did know. Don't overtalk to the subject, make sure, let them talk, let them do the talking, listen, kind of get a sense of them. Don't try and be their best friend. Just try and listen and hear their story and try and kind of capture an element of them that is in that story that they told you. Yeah, I think that would be it. We all kind of, especially celebrities, a lot of times you want to charm them because you want them to like you. And you don't need to do that to get a good picture. Probably you shouldn't do that.
I completely agree. I've learned that along by, I'm a filmmaker at heart. And then when I'm not doing filmmaking, I do this because I love to network and just get that energy that we exchange as empaths, as creatives, when we speak to each other. So thank you for sharing this time right now with me, Maura.
Thank you.
I think that's a great segue to, I guess, kind of like my last question in a way is, what do you hope people take from them seeing Steve Schapiro being everywhere?
Okay, I might cry. My eyes might water. I want you to know that just by his interviews and his pictures, that Steve was a massively cool guy. He met everybody, and he always stayed a really kind, wonderful guy.
I love that. Well, Maura, thank you for sharing him with us through this work. Yeah, I love, and I nerd out when I find out about, I've seen his work without knowing his name. I think all of us do that's what we do as creatives do. We just do the work. And then, and that's what it's all about. And it inspires, it entertains us, it educates us. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and for my audience for sharing Steve to us with this film. And now, he'll live, in this work, that we know. That's why we do the work. And it's just the best. And I can't thank you enough for your time, Maura.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Patrick. Really, I love your energy. You know that. Thank you.
I appreciate you, everybody. That is the amazing Maura Smith, writer-director behind Steve Schapiro, being everywhere and also in theaters everywhere right now. I'll have links in the description below, especially if it's not in your area, but you'll want to know more and learn more, and you'll want to see this film. I can't thank you enough more for your time. I am KUYA P. This is Nerds Rule the World.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you, Maura. You're the best.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world.
Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes,
you know
sir.
Thank you.
Awesome. KUYA P, nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
They're nice to meet you. Nerds do rule the world.
We do. We're phenomenal, aren't we?
Thank you, nerds rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julian.
Yes.
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
Absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes. Yes. Nerds do rule the world. I agree.
We do.
I agree.
We're awesome, aren't we?
Thank you, ladies.
Nerds so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And nerds really do rule the world.
Thank you, sir. It's your boy KUYA P, nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
They rule the world, all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys.
Well, I was good until I saw that this is Nerds Rule the World. So are we talking about, like, everybody you interview is a nerd, right?
Oh, it's a legal requirement. It is.
It's a legal requirement.
Yeah.
Or are you, or the second you popped on screen, I was like, wait, are you supposed to be the queen nerd then?
I hope so. My handle is Heather is a nerd, so I am a professional at least.
Okay. But then you enter that whole question of like, well, if you're calling yourself a nerd, are you really a nerd? True nerd, would they call them? I don't know. I'm going to start going cross-eyed.
Going to psychoanalyze this a little bit.
Yeah.
Permission to record on your end, and we're going to record it back up on ours as well.
Excellent. All right. I'm recording. Thank you, Emma. You're the best as always. Maura, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm ready to have fun if you are.
Okay, me too. Me too. Where are you, by the way? Where are you located?
I'm in the DC area, Washington.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think the film's going to show in DC in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'll have to let you know when it happens.
Oh, definitely. Well, I had the pleasure of watching it.
Good deal.
Screener, so amazing work. Amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely. So yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll if you are.
Okay,
I'm just going to do a 3, 2, 1 to help me with my edit because we're going to come off the trailer in my interview and then we'll get right into it.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Maura. You're the best. Let's have some fun. All right. Everything's silent. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.